Are we live? All right. I'd like to call this special meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order for Tuesday, January 8th, 2019. Please rise, join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There is one piece of correspondence I want to call your attention to. There was a letter from Mr. Stive on Walnut Hill Road. If you've read that, I just want to point out that staff has had numerous conversations with Mr. Stive over the past year about his concerns, but I'm getting some feedback in writing from the department heads, and I will respond, and I'll copy you guys with the response, so I can try to allay his fears and his concerns about encroachment on town property. And just so you know, I'm finding that there's no mining operations at this site, there's no encroachment on town property, and the contractor will mark out the property to make it a little bit more visible, just to make sure that nobody goes on. Basically, there's a paper road that goes down through that property.
Really?
Yeah, the old Sherman truck. From
Old Turnpike.
from Walnut Hill Road, going up the hill where John Lennon lives down in the end. That road continued down to by McHoward.
Really?
Yeah.
On paper. It probably was a wood road or something.
It's like Shelley Road.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
It was originally gonna wind down the road. I think it was gonna connect right where Shelter Rock cuts
Yeah,
across.
with like a four-way right there.
Yeah.
Well, because from there, then it goes down Payne, and there's a little veer off to the left-hand side there. That's Sherman Turnpike that goes into Danbury.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just to give you some brief information, yes, I saw Leroy, and he mentioned this to me, and I spoke to Beth Cavagna, and she said she was gonna get back to him on that, so.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll produce information, so.
Okay. His main concern was the old right-of-way that went down through
Yeah,
there.
right. Approval of minutes from the special meeting of December 18th. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any questions, comments? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. The next two item, well, the next item we're just gonna table, consideration of Spring Hill Tower. I don't have anything to show you because we're waiting for the purchase agreement, which the seller is drafting with the exact terms and conditions and all that stuff. So that's something that we don't have to deal with tonight. Consideration of purchase of property. We don't really need an executive session, as it turns out. We filed this agenda before the weekend, so I wasn't sure if we need that.
Thank you.
So what I have here, thank you. I have a copy of the letter that we received back from the sellers of one of the Briarcliff Manor Property Group LLC. And this is what we approved at the PUC meeting yesterday. So PUC recommended it to Board of Selectmen, so I'll put a motion on the floor that we formally approve the purchase of the property Lot 1, Long Meadow Lane, map file 27, page 146, in the amount of $198,000, and forward to Planning and Zoning and Inland Wetlands for their review and approval.
Second.
All right, any questions?
No, we'll also file this too with Board of Finance.
Actually, if this, that's not, maybe, if this is paid out of project funds from PUC, I'm not sure that it needs to go through Board of Finance. We'll inform
That's
you.
right.
Yeah.
We'll inform them.
Right.
I'll be speaking with Board of Finance tonight just to keep them in the loop. But
Okay.
I don't, at this point, I don't know
You're
that we
right.
need to do that. Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. So, last item is the Bethel Middle School chiller plant. So, Terry, would you like the floor to explain what's going on? What happened to our chiller?
It's at the end of its
Chilled
sat
out.
life. It's at the end of its sat life.
I can tell you that we've had some discussions about several items in the district. So the first, remember, was the boilers at the middle school. And at that time, we came to the Board of Selectmen and we went to the Board of Finance, and we needed, in an emergency situation, to replace boilers. That project is almost done, and that was funded from our 1% account. We've been putting money away. And we had the money to cover that. But we told you the chiller would be coming, and that.
Along with the high school boilers.
Along with
Mhm.
That's a preview for down the road,
But the high school boilers we're gonna put.
as a capital project.
Are in the
Mhm.
capital plan for
Yeah.
next year. But the chiller, we've been told it'd be very hit or miss to get through the next warm season.
Mhm.
In speaking with this board and in speaking with the Board of Finance, when we talked about both issues, the Board of Finance was clear to come back early enough so that the whole project wouldn't be an emergency, that we could do a proper bidding
Bidding.
process and
Mhm.
everything else. So we have been working with Peregrine
Mhm.
Energy Group. I think you know we hired them to do recommissioning of all our HVAC units in the 3 schools that are not under renovation. And so they have been going along, identifying repairs. We've been having the repairs made, and they've been identifying what is at the end of life. And so overall, I can just quickly tell you, Berry School recommissioning project
Has been great.
has been great and is done. They moved on to the middle school, and
And
they
I think they
finished.
started a little bit at the high school.
And they've started now in the high school. So in the middle school, we replaced a whole bunch of valves throughout the system. And so we did that through our operating budget. And now we've got the boiler project, which is underway, but the chiller plant, it's not looking good. And those of you, I know, Paul, you were involved with the middle school, both of you were. So
Actually,
the
more
way
so.
it's.
You were buried.
I was buried,
Yeah.
he was,
Okay.
he was,
The way that building is designed, there's not a lot of window. I mean,
Right.
It was meant for AC.
It was meant to have air conditioning in it. And so we're very concerned at this point, and we've spoken with Kai, and we had, I know, in all our discussions, we had Connecticut combustion, just for a little bit of background and looking at it also. But Peregrine is our consulting firm, so that we don't muddy the waters when we bid. We want to bid
Yeah,
cleanly.
okay.
Yeah.
So they did a whole write-up for us. They did one back in July. They updated it in December. But we believe we should go forward. The numbers that they estimated were, they gave us a couple of options. They've also put together some of the specs I would need so that we could go out to bid. So if it was a water-cooled system, we're talking maybe 420,000. Air-cooled would be more like 390. So if you approve going forward, I would say a not to exceed 420 would be reasonable. Of course, we would hope that things would come in lower and we wouldn't spend all of it. But if we get moving, we can have it bid and have the bids reviewed and awarded and have it done prior to the next warm season.
Just anecdotally, what ends up happening in the building, it's not anecdotal, it actually happens, is that because there was a few days when the system went down, and especially it was very, very hot. I think you remember at the beginning of the school year,
Mhm.
a lot of districts closed, in fact. What happened is that the humidity levels built up so much within the building that they actually, kids were slipping.
Oh, wow.
And we
No,
call
you
it the
really
building.
don't want that because of
No.
moisture, I remember the
The,
moisture.
the building is like literally like raining in some
Yes.
spots because it gets thrown off to such degree. So it's not just about being comfortable, which
Yeah.
is obviously a big factor, but it's also about what it kind of does to the interior of the building.
And we wouldn't want it to reach a point of mold, so
Yeah.
we.
Correct. We actually had.
Well,
Just
and
saying that.
I noticed in here that it said, therefore we recommend Bethel make plans to replace the chiller plant within 2 years. I mean, it sounds like it's more urgent than that from what you're
Correct.
saying.
In our verbal discussions, they were really pushing us to get moving. I think if we think of it in terms of 2 years, we're gonna end up in an emergency situation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I believe that the Board of Finance is going to be disappointed in me in not coming and allowing it to be done without it being shortcutted.
Okay.
And it's already beyond its lifespan,
Yeah.
according
They
to.
said we
but-
did well. When you guys were involved in building that building, they feel the equipment
Well, there was a
definitely.
lot of discussion about that particular chiller system. that's put in.
Well, it had a good life.
How about
To say the least about the boilers that were put in there.
Is it I know we've got, what, about 27 years on that thing?
Yeah,
And from your perspective, maintenance has been okay? As far as-
yeah, yeah.
'Cause I would assume that's contracted out annually.
Well, there's
There's
a
a note
comment,
here.
there's a
Yeah.
comment here about, in our opinion, the contractor the town has employed to maintain the water treatment has not done a satisfactory job with the water chemistry maintenance.
And I
So,
think-
we put a new system in there, we want to maintain
Yeah.
the
Yes.
water quality, so you don't get that buildup, or you don't want legionnaires or any of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff growing in there.
Right.
So, the maintenance has to go along with the new
Yeah.
chiller.
Absolutely.
It does, and I believe, Mr. Straighton, part of the issue that was raised, and I spoke to the man that's in charge of the water department, I forgot his name.
The town water. department.
Yeah, the town water department, he's relatively new.
It-
uh,
Oh, Tom.
Yeah.
Tom Miller.
Yeah. I spoke to him because I think one of the issues that Kai and Bob has raised to me is that the water is incredibly hard.
Right. Well, we only supply water, we don't treat the water
Right,
individually.
Correct,
Right.
and he said, he essentially said that.
Yeah, so
that
you,
it's-
you need a water treatment system.
Correct.
For,
Is that
and,
inclusive with this?
I don't know if
No,
that's included
I
in
don't
this.
think so.
But I think, from what Tom told me, you can't treat it coming out of the facility.
correct.
No, you-
You have to treat it where.
At the source,
entrance. Yes.
at the end user.
Well,
Correct.
just to be on the record, let's see, in our opinion, the contractor the town has employed to maintain the water treatment system has not done a satisfactory job with water chemistry maintenance. That's not really a fair comment. It's not a contractor, it's town employee. but-
No,
no,
this
no,
is somebody
that's
different. They
completely
have a
separate.
water treatment.
Oh, you have a
system.
treatment, okay.
Yes,
have a
I'm
treatment
sorry.
there.
I was just trying to bring up the point that I asked Tom about,
Yeah.
could you soften the water coming out? What do I?
Well, is it possible to soften it at the school?
Well, that's
Yeah,
what that's
right.
what we
To
talked
go
about.
when it goes
Yes.
into these boilers, that's
Yeah,
what needs to be done.
that's what we talked
And
about.
also, we need it for your
Yeah.
hot water
We can
system.
actually see if we can get a separate vote on that.
So,
Yes.
I would maybe even recommend adding another $20,000 onto that.
For softening?
Yeah.
To make sure that that is all included.
Oh,
Right, that's all
yeah.
included.
Okay.
And I have a question, who's gonna make the decision as to be an air-cooled or water-cooled system?
Well, I think we were going to put it out the bid both ways.
Okay,
And my plan was to put it out through the town purchasing department.
Yeah.
We would do the background,
Sure.
turn it over to Lauren, and let her take it the rest of the way. You'd have to have a committee,
That was-
other than Teriyaki, reviewing which,
well, I would like to be on that committee.
that would
Uh,
be wonderful.
Because I'm concerned about a water-cooled system. A lot of water-cooled systems use a lot of water to cool it. I'll give you an example. Duracell building was a water-cooled building. They were using 100 gallons a minute to cool that building. And the well, the splitting in the building only produced 100 gallons a minute.
So you would be more in favor of an air?
Well,
And the
I mean,
air-cooled is supposed to
there
be
might be
a little
new
less
technology on that,
expensive.
so I would
Yeah,
just like to
yeah.
see the research on it. We wanted something,
Yes.
install something that we're gonna use $100,000 worth of water to
Okay.
cool the water.
Yeah.
Cause your water is metered, that goes into the
Absolutely.
building that we end up
Rich,
paying for.
you're saying that we should, inclusive in this should be the water treatment.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes. So you want water treatment, and we should definitely bid for both.
yes,
And then
yeah,
the committee that analyzes it, it could be yourself, it could
Right,
be
or- and
Bob,
with
could be
Peregrine's
somebody
help
from
and
Public
everything,
Works,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you
it
would
could be
want Kai.
people
We'd
that
also,
Kai.
we'd also
yeah.
like to take a look at efficiencies too.
Yes,
between the two.
absolutely.
well, anything in today's technology is
Yeah.
way above what it was
Well,
27 years ago.
And then when we bring it, if you approve it, and we go later tonight to the Board of Finance, I know Bob Kislowski was gonna recommend where to fund it from.
Recommend what?
Where to do the funding
Okay,
from, because
okay.
I don't have the funding
Yeah.
for this, to be completely honest, this has to come from town funding.
Okay.
It can't come from my 1% account.
Okay, so just to ask one more question, a devil's advocate question, because I know the Board of Finance will ask. Can we put this, or should this go into the regular budget process, or is that too late?
Well, that would be too late for this
Cooling
warm
season.
season.
You're trying to do this well before
Yeah, you
July.
need to-
Yes.
Yeah.
We're trying to
right.
get this
Yeah.
done.
We would probably, and
We'd like it done by May.
yeah,
So
at
that
the latest.
it could be,
Yeah,
Is that feasible?
Yes, I think so.
if we, I've been told yes, if
Okay.
we get going with the bidding process right away.
Okay.
Okay.
I would just like to have us briefed when you make that decision
Okay.
as to, whether air and probably with Rich, he'll tell us which system is needed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Rich is very appreciative if you
Yeah.
sign on that
Okay,
evaluation.
thank you. So I would like to add $20,000 to that number.
So why don't we just round it off to 440?
Why don't we say 450?
Yeah.
Not to
Yeah.
exceed,
Not to
because
exceed.
we don't
Not to
demand to
exceed.
spend it all.
And say that includes water treatment.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Dion, so we're gonna need a special town meeting too, right?
Oh, for this. Yep.
Yep. Well, I'll do this in two motions. First, I'm gonna put a motion on the floor to approve and forward to the Board of Finance for their consideration purchase of a chiller system for the middle school, including water treatment equipment in an amount not to exceed $450,000.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion?
And just include this, it tells everything,
Yeah.
it's outdated, it's broken down, and,
We'll make some more
Yeah,
copies of
yeah.
this for them.
okay, that's all.
Okay, so then, special town meeting. Why don't we set a date of Tuesday, January, well, wait a minute.
We have a meeting the 15th.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
enough
but I
time.
don't know, not enough time.
To notice it, yeah.
The 22nd.
22nd.
I was gonna make it the same night as our meeting after the 15th, which would be February 5th. Would that be enough time?
I'd like to get it out by
Yeah,
the
why don't we
1st
have
of
a
February
special
if we
meeting?
could.
All right,
22nd.
22nd? Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Okay, so then I'll put a motion on the floor to establish a date for a special town meeting for Tuesday, January 22nd at 7 PM in meeting room A.
Do you need me there?
What's that?
Do you need me there, do you think?
No.
No, okay, all right then.
Why, you going away?
No, I have Johnson PTO meeting that night.
Oh, so do I.
Yes, you do, as a matter
Oh.
of fact. Well, no,
No,
this
that's-
one's different. This
That's,
one's
yeah,
different.
okay, those are in February, okay.
Yeah.
So did we get a second on that?
yeah.
Second.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Okay, last item on the agenda is setting the date for the annual town meeting, which is required by charter to be done by January 15th. I'm going to put a motion on the floor to establish Monday, April 1st, 7 PM, Bethel High School Auditorium for the annual town budget meeting.
Second.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, sound good?
Second.
Okay. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye? Okay.
Motion adjourned?
Second? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye? Okay, all done, thank you. It's all good.
Is yours on?